There's only one Kentucky. Plan your getaway at KentuckyTourism.com.
Although Kentucky is known for country music, and rightly so, the Commonwealth celebrates a variety of musical styles. Today, we're taking a look at Kentucky's musical heritage. The state of Kentucky is known as the birthplace of bluegrass music, which is a subgenre of country music. Bluegrass was inspired by the Appalachian region, which had strong ties to Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and English traditional music, thanks to the area's early settlers. Similar to jazz, bluegrass musicians will often take turns playing their instruments and improvising around the melody of the song. There are many instruments associated with this style of music, and one of them has been designated the official musical instrument of Kentucky. The Appalachian dulcimer, sometimes called mountain dulcimer, is a fretted string instrument and is generally played on the lap by plucking. The Appalachian Artisan Center in Hindman, Kentucky is an important part of preserving this type of music through the fine art of lutherie. We talk with the center's master artist in residence, Doug Naselroad, who makes, repairs, and sells a myriad of stringed instruments. I'm here with Doug Naselroad, and he is the master artist in residence at the Appalachian Artisan Center. You have an impressive background. I mean, you worked for Collings?
Yes, ma'am. I worked for Collings Guitars in Austin, Texas, which was a real learning experience down there. That's like getting your master's degree in guitar making. And we made guitars for a lot of celebrities, you know, Lyle Lovett and people like that were in there all the time. And I came away from there with a whole different outlook on the craft, you know, and I hope that I brought some of that forward with me down here and some of the things we're making here.
Well, it does look like you all are having some fun, because I can look over there and I see a Spam can kind of hooked onto a piece of wood. I guess that's a Spam Joe?
Spam Joe, yeah. As if our regular instruments weren't whimsical enough. Mike Sloan, my #1 apprentice here, has been creating Spam Joes, which are good, except we end up having to eat the Spam to get the can.
Well, what I love about all of these instruments is that they really are a piece of Kentucky. I mean, you're using lumber from the area and parts from that are Kentucky.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Kentucky has some of the best tone woods on the planet. In fact, for example, this little ukulele here that I've been fooling with this morning, it's actually made out of Kentucky black locust, which is a superb tone wood, but mostly people have been using it for barn siding and fence posts. And it's got all the volume, it's got a pretty curl, it's got the nice appearance of some tropical endangered rainforest hardwood, but it's actually just old Kentucky black locust.
Not far from the Appalachian Artisan Center is US 23, where you can learn even more about Kentucky's musical heritage. This 144-mile stretch of highway runs north and south along the eastern part of the state, and it's been designated as the Country Music Highway. Also a National Scenic Byway, it covers 7 counties in the state of Kentucky, and it's been home to over a dozen well-known country music stars. Performers like Loretta Lynn, Winona and Naomi Judd, Billy Ray Cyrus, Ricky Skaggs, Dwight Yoakam, and Patty Loveless. A wonderful place to see a collection of memorabilia from these music stars is at the US 23 Country Music Highway Museum in Paintsville, Kentucky. Not only will you find interesting exhibits on some of Kentucky's legendary country artists, but you can also find a diverse mix of items in the gift shop, and you might be treated to live bluegrass music with their Thursday night Front Porch Pickin'. Well, I'm here today with Lynette Pruitt at the US 23 Country Music Highway Museum.
Yes.
So tell me about some of the exhibits that are here. I mean, they're really beautifully done.
Well, of course, our most popular is Loretta Lynn. This is her exhibit, and visitors can actually go out to her home at Butcher Hollow in Van Lear and take a tour with Loretta's brother, Herman Webb. And I mean, visitors, they just love that personal interaction with a family member.
Sure, that's a great personal touch to be able to do that.
It really is. It really is.
Tell me about some of the other ones. I noticed there were outfits and
There are. If you look over here, this is actually a dress that Loretta Lynn wore in concert. We have records, signed guitars, just pictures, just all kinds of memorabilia from all the different artists.
Well, what's so great about coming here is that you really do get kind of this comprehensive look at Eastern Kentucky artists and really the country music.
We do. We really get like an international draw here. We get visitors, I mean, not only from Kentucky, but from all across the U.S. We get visitors from other countries, Australia. We have a gentleman here today from Germany. We get a lot of visitors from Canada. It's just a very nice museum to display the memorabilia, from all these artists who have contributed so much to our area.
Absolutely. Well, I was just amazed to see all the different people. I mean, like Billy Ray Cyrus and the Judds and Ricky Skaggs, and you kind of forget what a tremendous impact they've had on the musical heritage of Kentucky.
They really have. We just have a great selection of artists from this area, and the thing about it is they're all so proud, honestly, to call Kentucky their home.
Sure. Well, and you're representative of so many counties.
Yes, that is correct. The Country Music Highway, it runs in eastern Kentucky for 144 miles, all the way from Greenup County in northern Kentucky down south through Letcher County.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, I can't wait to kind of take a tour, and can you show me around a little bit?
Sure.
I'm here with Donnie Whitten, and you are a local musician. You're from Van Leer.
Yes,
Hometown of Loretta Lynn.
that's correct.
Music just must run in your veins.
It does, yes.
Well, tell me about Front Porch Pickin'. I know that happens here at the Country Music Museum,
Yes.
and it sounds like it's quite an event.
It is quite an event. We get a lot of local people come from about 5 different counties, and then we have a lot of tourists that come through. We have tourist buses sometimes that stop, and there has been times when there'd be so many here that we'd have to set up a band outside here on the back porch. One out here, one in there, one here, and one out behind.
Wow.
Just be so many.
Well, I know even being here today, there's someone here from Germany, so you really
Yes.
draw people internationally.
Right. Yeah, these come from everywhere. We just have a big time, and we call it Front Porch Picking because that's a whole lot what it is. We never know who's going to be here.
Tell me a little bit about the type of music that you play.
Well, my 2 favorite types is gospel music, of course, and bluegrass.
Oh, nice.
My dad played bluegrass music, some of my uncles, and a lot of my cousins. And I just fell right in line.
Well, good. I'm excited to hear you play.
We were waltzing one night in Kentucky beneath that beautiful harvest moon, and I was the boy who was lucky, but it all had to end way too soon. Now as I stand here all alone in the moonlight, I can see her smiling face, and I long once more for her embrace and the beautiful Kentucky waltz.
The Commonwealth's contribution to American music is immeasurable. There's only one Kentucky, and there's only one father of bluegrass music. You can take a step back into music history at the birthplace of Bill Monroe in Rosine, Kentucky. The Bill Monroe Museum showcases his beautifully restored boyhood home and the early foundations of bluegrass music. There's also only one International Bluegrass Music Museum. This state-of-the-art interactive museum in Owensboro, Kentucky, is dedicated to preserving and encouraging the growth of bluegrass music. Not only will you take a look back at the roots of bluegrass music, but you can also look ahead to today's newest acts. If you schedule your visit to Owensboro right, you can also attend ROMP, River of Music Party in June to celebrate Kentucky's own bluegrass music. Renfro Valley is another music must. It's known as the Kentucky Country Music Capital. Renfro Valley Entertainment Center is a 55-acre destination complex that produces 10 live shows every week, featuring traditional country, bluegrass, and gospel and comedy. You'll experience star-studded concerts, Southern dining, and plenty of shopping. Also in Renfro Valley is the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame, which honors Kentucky performers, songwriters, publishers, promoters, broadcasters, managers, comedians, and other musical professionals who've made significant contributions to the music industry of Kentucky and around the world. Well, I'm here today with Robert Lawson. He's the Executive Director at the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame. Wow, I had never been here, and this is really a large museum.
Yeah, it's located here in Renfro Valley, right off I-75, and we opened in May of 2002. And beautiful facility, a little over 16,000 square feet of just Kentucky music.
That's great, and you know, I think what was so surprising to me is, you know, when you think of Kentucky music, you think of country, maybe bluegrass, but this really covers all genres.
Yeah, the thing about it, it truly is Kentucky music. Even though country and bluegrass plays a significant role in the music of Kentucky, here at the Hall of Fame, we honor the blues, the jazz, the folk music, the gospel music. If it comes from Kentucky, that's what we're all about.
So what would you say some of your visitor favorites are?
Well, one of the great things about the Hall of Fame, you mentioned we actually have the Hall of Fame, which showcases those inductees. But not only do we do that, we also tell the story of how Kentucky and the music has evolved over the years, from the first settlers into Kentucky throughout the music of today. And so we have all that timeline and tied into that. But some of the neatest exhibits, we have some one-of-a-kind exhibits from the Merle Travis Super 400 Gibson guitar that he played on all the TV shows. We actually have that on display here. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind instrument. We have the very first Everly Brothers Gibson guitar. We have that on loan here actually in our Hall of Fame area. And then obviously the 1915 Model T Ford that we have back there. It's a one-of-a-kind car, one of the first cars to ever be seen here in Rockcastle County. But the tie-in, having that with the Foley family, Red Foley and his brother Cotton Foley, owning the car and just purchasing it in 1948 for $20, you know, and it's now a permanent exhibit here at the Hall of Fame, and we just love to have that and showcase that.
And you even have kind of a radio exhibit too, where you can hear actual live broadcasts from different radio stations.
Yeah, it's one of the cool things about that is we actually have actual audio from the 3 prominent stations in the 30s and 40s, and so you actually get to hear actual audio from that, and it's really a cool part of the exhibit where we actually have some of the authentic antique radios as well as some of the replicas of the sound equipment at that time. So it's a pretty cool exhibit.
Do you think when visitors come, are they surprised at just how much there is here in Kentucky? I mean, I know you think of maybe nearby markets, but really Kentucky is so vast.
Yeah, it's the happening place. I hear it almost on a daily basis. Me and the staff was like, wow, I can't believe so-and-so was from Kentucky. Wow, I can't believe you had such a nice exhibit on them. Didn't even know they were from Kentucky. You know, you have, Nashville gets the cred for the music. Right. But people just don't realize that people actually go to Nashville. They're coming from Kentucky, or they're coming from other locations to go to perform in Nashville or become that. But this is where they got their start.
Yeah, this is a wonderful museum. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
In addition to seeing those inducted into the Hall of Fame, the museum also includes exhibit cases for instruments, artifacts, costumes, and other music memorabilia. What will likely be a thrill for most visitors are the interactive exhibits. They even have a functioning sound booth where visitors can see what it's like to record sound and become a music star. Kentucky's musical roots are so rich and far-reaching that there's no shortage of what you can discover when traveling throughout the Commonwealth. There are musical festivals, events, museums, and concerts sprinkled throughout the state. So no matter where you venture in Kentucky, you'll likely find a celebration of the state's musical heritage. Get out and explore Kentucky's musical heritage. There'll be plenty of toe tapping and a deep appreciation for the immense contributions Kentuckians have made to American music.